This is Charlie Talbot with Talbot Consulting.
Greg Kitson with Mind's Eye Graphics.
Pierre with Blue Moon.
This is Marcia Derryberry with Impressions Magazine.
And you're listening to the Two Regular Guys.
Two Regular Guys.
Two Regular Guys podcast.
Hosted
by Terry Combs and
Aaron Montgomery.
It's the first and most listened to favorite weekly internet radio show in the industry. Take a listen.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. It's Friday, May 31st, 2019. I'm Terry Combs, and you can find me at equipmentzone.com and also terrycombs.com.
And my name is Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me over at aaronmontgomery.info. Today we have Joe Piazza, and I'm sure I'm butchering it. So I always call him Joey Pizza, but that's just me. He's a great guy, great friend. He's going to be joining us here in just a little bit. He's with Siser, and he's going to be talking to us about some things that you might not think of when you think of Siser, sublimation, but you're going to start thinking of Siser with sublimation here soon, it seems like. And actually, they've been working within that medium with their glitter vinyl for a long time. So sublimation, vinyl, and glitter, oh my, is our title for today. So looking forward to having that conversation here soon, Terry. But start us off with... I found us a couple of news items this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have one not on the list that is only news to you and me and my family. Last night was graduation night. My youngest graduated from high school, and yes, they do have graduation outside in Scottsdale, Arizona at the end of May.
That sounds hot.
And besides the speeches, 510 kids having their names called to walk up on stage and get their diplomas. So it's been a hectic week for me, family, and from all over. And so that's what I'm up to. And then tomorrow is the graduation brunch. So then I can relax after that and go hang by the pool with my kids. But,
nice. That sounds like fun.
Hey, but news item here, Fruit of the Loom has announced layoffs, actually. 100 jobs are being cut at the headquarters in Kentucky, in Bowling Green, I assume. And according to the news outlet WKNY, and the report says that Fruit of the Loom is transferring its IT services to YPro Unlimited, an IT and consulting firm in India. And WKNY says the company projects the transition to commence right now through March 2020. So sorry to see those Fruit of the Loom jobs disappearing and going offshore. Yeah.
Well, kind of sign of the times, unfortunately. So, and I'm really proud of you there, Terry. I would have said WKRP. Every time I see call letters, that's all I want to say. So,
and not very far away in Cincinnati. So
yeah, there you go. All right. So my news item. Christine from Enmart, who's joining us here this morning. She said, good morning, happy Friday. So good morning, Christine. She shared some news with us that Enmart is proud to announce the launch of its newly redesigned website at www.mynmart.com. The new site has been redesigned to make shopping with Enmart easier and faster. For blank patch customers, the new Patch Designer tool allows for quick selection of patch colors and sizes and makes it possible to envision the finished patch. The Thread Selector tool allows selection of hues from a chart and shows the closest iris thread match. Combined with the redesigned Thread Converter tool, choosing and converting thread colors is now quicker and easier. So make sure you get over there and check that out and see what they got going on over at My Enmart. Christine was very excited. Sounds like she's put in a lot of work into that. So
yeah, sounds like it. Yeah.
Great stuff there. A couple of other quick comments here, Terry. Jackie Perry says, I'm so excited for this. So we've got a Joe follower, I believe. And Jackie, we appreciate you jumping in. And we're going to learn some great stuff from Joe here in just a little bit. And Rich says, good morning. Jeff is also checking in. So really excited for everybody checking in.
All right. Very good. Hey, we want to thank all of our regular listeners, the Regulators, and any new listeners tuning in today. If you have an idea for a future show, go to our Contact Us page at 2, regularguys.com, or reach out to us on social media. Aaron and I are everywhere as the 2 Regular Guys. If you are catching the live video via Facebook Live right now, please jump in and participate. We'd love to have your comments. And with that, Aaron, let's hear a word from our gold sponsor.
This episode of The Two Regular Guys is brought to you by Bright & Leap, makers of the REGGIE award-winning Embrilliance embroidery software. Embrilliance is different.
You don't need hardware dongles or to trade active seats for every user. One license lets you run every computer in your shop at once. And Brilliance runs natively on both Mac and Windows. Your single license lets you install on both platforms. And Brilliance is modular. If you only need customizing with lettering, sizing, and recoloring, you can get just that. And Brilliance's unique stitch processing tools even allow you to resize and improve expanded stitch files from digitizers or stock collections for faster running, lighter embroideries. If you decide you need fully featured digitizing, it's fast and easy to add powerful design creation tools to your system. You can start with any tool and build your ideal kit. All Embrilliance programs run standalone or work together in their unified platform. See the difference for yourself at Embrilliance.com. Two Regular Guys listeners can enter the exclusive code 2RG, that's the number 2RG, at Embrilliance.com/store for 10% off your entire purchase.
Well, we have everybody saying that too. The number 2, it's some kind of science, I think.
It's science. It's definitely science.
We want to thank again Brighton Leap for their support. They are our gold sponsor, but we do still have sponsorship opportunities available. You can check that out at the number 2 regularguys.com/sponsorship. All right. So,
all right.
Are we ready to get to our guest?
I think so. I think let's, without any further ado, we've got some excitement happening. People are excited to get to this. So let's do it.
All right.
Terry?
Well, Joe Piazza has been with Siser North America for 5 years as marketing and sales. Joe runs their social media, video, attends trade shows, teaches classes, and does training. Joe has 13 years experience in the textile decoration industry with a background in CAD cut, large format printing, DTG, sublimation, digital art, and CNC. Nice. Joe is also a film actor and musician in his free time, which makes him Hollywood Joe.
Welcome to the show, Joe.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Thank you for pronouncing my last name correctly, Aaron and Terry. Bless your hearts. And Siser, for that matter, too. So, yes. Let's square that off. It is Siser.
Okay. All right. So what do you normally hear when people don't know what it's called?
Oh, man, a plethora of names. What do we have? We have big one is Siser, which I get it. Phonetically, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Siser, Scissor, Siser. We've had people add letters and call it sister. I mean, like blatantly look at our name and go, "What's sister?" And we're like, "Where are you seeing the T?" I don't know. I get it. You know, autocorrect does that to us.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. So Siser is an Italian company, so that's where that kind of comes from. So.
Yeah, and a quick background for everybody for that one actually is, so Siser is an Italian company, but Siser, the name is actually 2 names put together. So we had, it was the owners, it was 2 of them. It was, I mean, I could be wrong there, but it was Cecilia and Sergio. So the S-I of Cecilia and the S-E-R of Sergio was Siser.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Well, great. Thank you for the background. That definitely helps us put it together. All right. Well, Joe, I think what everybody showed up here for was to kind of get this burning question out of the way. What's changed for you since winning the REGGIE Award for Best Ambassador for the industry?
Well, besides getting it tattooed across my chest, I think it's only appropriate that I now run for president.
Okay.
No, in all seriousness, no. I mean, honestly, not much has necessarily changed, but it was extremely humbling, and I can't begin to thank everybody for actually having me a part of this, let alone, I guess, gain the award itself. So all in all, I guess the overall effect to be able to earn such a thing and be up against very big names too in the industry was a very big honor for myself. So thank you guys for having me as a part of it and hosting it, and that's awesome. So
nice. I don't know if you see the comment there, Joe.
Yeah, true. What just happened there?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, you know what, we better share this. Todd Downing, a good friend of ours, checking in. Says shirtless Joe for the win. Sex sells. Okay. All right.
Thanks, guys. Again, we'll negate the 13 years experience in the industry. And
yeah. Who cares about that? All right. Well, Terry, can you get us on the right track here, please? nice.
I believe all of our audio listeners just went over to the website though to see the the video. But hey, so Joe, it's summertime, at least here in Phoenix, and Siser has a pretty good feel for the pulse of the market. So, from all of your travels and transactions that you have with the folks on Facebook and all the other platforms, what are the trends that you're seeing out there?
Well, we're in a world of ADD, right? So it's hard to stay on track with anything. And I know trends are what they are, right? But it's more like the flavor of the week in this industry, I noticed. And it does depend on the season and stuff. But for example, one of the most consistent trends in what I'm going to quote unquote the crafter market, which is our big market for Siser, a big trend that I've noticed is been like monograms, right? Okay. So monogramming anything is huge. And it kind of, what I noticed and what you're saying, Terry, is like during my travels and stuff, what I noticed is kind of, so the more south or southern states I go to, like monograms are still a thing and they're on everything. Yeah. And then up here in Michigan, if I talk about a monogram or show a monogram, people are like, I don't care. Okay. Like they're not as, I guess, tantalizing the way they are down there. So really finding the trends I see on social media kind of vary on each platform between Facebook, Instagram. Pinterest has been a big one to really set the trends visually for people. And with everyone connected right now, it's easy for people to just kind of ride that bandwagon for a minute and just kind of see what they can get out of it. But trends are very difficult for our industry because it's all about customization and personalization. So
yeah, okay, cool. Well, that's good information there for sure, Joe. So Joe, we've run into you on the road a couple times recently here at the DAX shows, as Terry and I have done our live walkthrough on the shows. It's always a ton of fun, and we love putting people on the spot. And you're always a rock star because you're just like, okay, here we go, let's do this. So one of the things you've been showing us a couple times has kind of been this layered vinyl, kind of multimedia layered, several different types of vinyl on to different things. So talk to us a little bit about that. You maybe describe, what that does for people, what you've seen them doing successfully, and how does that add value to the end project?
Yeah, that's a lot. And yeah, this is kind of refreshing to be able to actually have like a breath before I get on air, because I'm used to like Terry and Aaron walking up with a cell phone and being like, dude, you're live. So
you can finish writing that order up later.
No, that's a good question. And the multimedia and layering and stuff like that is just shows the versatility of Siser products. One of our biggest names is the Easy Weed line, and most of it is kind of a good I don't want to say competitor, but it's a good, I guess, stepbrother to like screen printing. So it's for those that know about screen printing. You have minimums, but you still want to get stuff done. Easy Weed's a great way to still achieve a screen print look and have multicolor. Now, if you aren't familiar with with Siser products, we have a plethora of different styles of products. So, like going with what your question, Aaron, just a couple examples. I know we're on a podcast, but if you're watching it, just to show you, here's a jacket that I did with 2 colors of glitter. They're kind of what we call knockout. Here's an example of a big trend right now called the emboss look, which mixes 2 medias that we have. It's hard to pick up on camera, but you can see there's a little bit of a dimension. There's the flashy finishes like this. There's a bunch of things that are going to add value. Those are just small examples. And what I'm noticing is to really showcase or set yourself apart from the other ways of garment decoration, such as screen printing and sublimation, is adding different finishes of heat transfer vinyl like we have, such as the glitter, holographic, Brick 600, the metal Strip Block Pro. Those ones you're not going to be able to achieve any other way of decorating your garment. So if you can do this and you can show something that is out of the box and very unique and something no one else is going to be able to have or replicate, then that right there adds so much value to the garment.
Yeah.
I mean, then when you start doing the breakdown as a business and you kind of compare the cost of what an easy weed roll would cost versus glitter, it's going to be a little bit more costly to go with the glitter, but again, it's something that's going to add value inevitably to that finished garment. So
yeah. I mean, I think that's a really good point. I mean, you when you're sitting there trying to buy the easy weed, or you're looking at buying the glitter, you go, okay, well this one's a lot, quote unquote, a lot more. Right. But when you break that down and then you realize how much more you can actually then sell that finished product for, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, but you got to get over that first part of making that purchasing decision up front. So
exactly. And again, you got to kind of, I know if you're beginning, you're just willing to take on any business, but as you establish yourself as a business or a some kind of garment decorator, you'll be able to cater. So not having limitations is the one thing that I always stress to people all the time. It's not restricting yourself to one particular style, because for this, it broadens your spectrum of the amount of business you have potentially. It's all about what you're willing to take on.
Nice. Okay. Hey, Terry, before we get to your next question for Joe, Todd has an actual serious question here. So,
wait, my question's serious.
I know. And Joe's shirt is on, so we're good there. So Todd says, I love the Siser High Five matte. Any word if gloss might be in the works?
Well, actually, like I said, so Siser Italy is our main manufacturing, and they make so much stuff. And I'm not trying to cause any trouble, but we only take on here in North America like a portion of what Siser actually makes.
Okay.
And High Five, the printable, does have a glossy finish. We just decided to take on only the matte finish just to see how it would go.
Okay.
The print cut like I said, our big market is the crafters, so they're not using the large format. So for us to take on too many print and cut heat transfer vinyls, it's hard when they're not moving as quickly as the rest of our cuttables. So
okay.
I have a demand for that. If we do notice that people want that, there is a possibility, and we are fully capable of getting those materials for you. So if you were.
So Todd, you just got to order enough. Say, here's my order. It's thousands and thousands of dollars worth, and let's make it happen.
We can make any of that happen if that's what you're willing to do. And I mean, it's pretty easy to achieve that when it comes to print and cut. So if you really were serious about it and you looked up and you contacted your authorized Siser distributor, or you even reached out to us, because we don't sell direct at Siser, if you don't know that, and we can get you in touch with somebody, and we can try to work out the logistics to get you that material if that was what you were really looking for.
Excellent. Cool. Well, thanks for answering that question for us, Joe. All right, Terry, back to you, sir.
Well, and Todd, just say that you know Joe when you call. So that totally sets you up.
You can say the two regular guys. I'm sure that helps.
That goes over pretty well. We can work things out.
Actually, we might recommend you not saying that. Could get you turned away.
Those guys. Well, you were talking about crafters and other types of businesses. How easy would it be for one of our listeners to take this product line and start a full-time standalone business? I mean, all they do is the Siser product line. What's that look like?
Oh man, Terry, it's crazy because it is incredibly easy. It's kind of, when I talk to people that are very intimidated when they come to trade shows and stuff like that, and they don't know where to begin in this industry because it's so overwhelming to a lot of people. And then when you show them the simplicity of the Siser product and how you can start kind of dipping your toe into the industry, it's incredibly easy. Because when you start breaking down the cost of what you feasibly need start a business, it's you're talking about a ballpark number of about $300 is all it takes to start something. And then, the other thing is again, when I say craft or industry, I'm talking about people that are stay at home for the most part. They work out of a spare room or their living room or basement of their house, and they're only doing stuff for friends and family. I love hearing that one because they just start off, they don't know what to do, but they want to make a couple of shirts for close friends and family. And then the next thing they know, they have word of mouth, spreads like crazy. Somebody sees that shirt, they see how it's unique, different. They want something. How did you get that? And so on and so forth. It's very, very simple. Quick story. I was at a trade show a few years ago, and like I said, one of the customers that didn't know anything about this industry walked in kind of with the chicken with his head cut off, didn't know, was actually going into retirement or just had gone into retirement. And he went from a different industry and was just like, I need something to just kill the time. And so I showed him heat transfer vinyl, showed products. I took him through where he needed to start. Long story there. A year later at the same exact show, that gentleman made it a point to come and find me to thank me. And he had said within that year, he had taken this just startup because he had gotten all his equipment and stuff at that show the previous year. He said within that year, he started a business and it had already profited almost $50,000 in the first year from just doing heat transfer vinyl, starting in his basement. 3 months later, got a storefront, got employees. He just he hit some kind of main vein, and it just started all over again. And he was ecstatic. And like you said, the only thing he had been doing at that time was heat transfer vinyl. He was using all Siser stuff. So it's one of those stories that you're just like, well, this guy came from literally knowing nothing in the market to having a flourishing, successful business within the first year. So
awesome.
Joe, I keep, I do a lot of trade shows just like you, and I feel like more and more we're having those folks that walk up to the booth and say, hey, I don't know anything about this, but I'm really interested in doing it. And are you seeing that as well?
Absolutely. I mean, what's crazy to me too is a good amount of those same customers that you're mentioning, Terry, are people that have been doing other stuff. And to me, like prime example is I've been in this industry 13 years. I know nothing about embroidery. Embroidery, for some reason, intimidates me like none other. And most of the time, like people will come up to me and be like, well, they get scared about heat transfer vinyl, but they say they've been doing embroidery for 30 plus years. And it's just like one of those things, like in my mind, if you can handle those giant crazy needle machines that just scare me for some reason, you can definitely handle working with Siser heat transfer vinyl. So it's just there are more and more of those people, but like I said, it's something that it's kind of like an Uber driver. You've talked, I'm sure you guys have talked to Uber drivers, and there's always the same story. It's like, oh, this is just my second job, but I'm really considering it being a full-time thing because it's really easy. I can set up my own hours. I can do all this stuff. And I feel like heat transfer vinyl in our world, it's kind of that same thing where people still have their full-time thing, want to find this craft market or an extra source of income. And then before they know it, they're on their own schedule. They're their own boss. They can do all this stuff, and they're catering to all these new people. And before they know it, they're on a steady incline. So
nice.
Well, and it's turned into a short run. I want it now world marketplace out there.
Yes. So it gets competitive in that regard. So, and that's the other thing is then you have those gung-ho people that are just like, they're ready to come in. They want to do everything, but they don't know anything what it takes. And then when you start throwing out numbers and dollars, they're like, whoa. Like, where can I start? And it's like, but you just threw out a billion different things that you could be doing. So it's also just taking the time to educate yourself and going to those trade shows. And not only are those trade shows great for education, but it's also the prime spot to get the best deal on equipment. Aaron, you know that. Like, if that's the trick of the trade there. If you're ready to get started, you get your best deals at those trade shows on equipment. And so right there, it's so fast paced that everyone wants to constantly catch up or have everything. And then those guys that I talk about our print and cut heat transfer vinyls, and I'm like, I always teeter on that, because as soon as I say the kind of printer that you need to use the printable products, most of the time they're like, no, I won't have that. But then there's always those guys that are going, oh yeah, I got that. It's just sitting in my shop collecting dust. Yeah. And I'm like, you have an $18,000 printer and you've never used it? Like, what do you do? Like, it's like, oh yeah, it's just, I bought it. It looked cool. And then I never touched it. And it irks me, because there's so much potential in a machine. Don't educate yourself and you dive right into something, it can bite you, so.
Yeah. Well, or you could be like Todd, and who's got one and just crushing it with it too. So that's
exactly
where you want to get to.
Exactly. Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, cool. So we've got tons of great comments here coming in. So I wanted to get to a couple of those before I get to my next question. Start off with Marshall Atkinson said, good question, Terry. He suggests start with writing a business plan and having a good conversation with the suppliers as part of that. So just a comment there from Marshall. Thanks, Marshall, for sharing. Terry Saunders says, are there trial introductory kits available?
Trial introductory kits.
Yeah, and I may cover this one, Joe. Being from my former life in the distributor side of things, there's definitely lots of different ways that people go about kind of bringing that business in a box package to the world. So, I know people will sell a silhouette cutter, and it's going to come with some sheets of vinyl to get you started and things like that. So that's really more based on what the supplier wants to do and how they want to offer it. So I think those are great things, and I see tons of them out there. So
and I think more and more of our distributors are kind of offering stuff like that. They may not advertise it, but like Aaron had said, is it kind of can be a bundled pack. And it usually is based around whether or not you're buying a vinyl cutter or a heat press. Yep. And then you get all the, you may get some Siser heat transfer vinyl involved in it. But I think more and more, not only our distributors, but for Siser, our resellers who are more catering to the crafter market themselves by selling more of the sheets, bundle packs, doing that. Now that's more of a great starting route to go to. Our distributors are more of like the bulk amount, like when you're ready to order 25 50-yard rolls, that's that way. But our resellers would be actually probably pretty good with doing that.
Okay, cool. Great information, Joe. Just another comment from Jackie said, best decision I've ever made. So got one. So you were talking about embroidery, Joe, and Terry and I kind of felt the same way for a long time. So we ended up getting ourselves an Eric Campbell. So if you don't have an Eric Campbell, you're going to want to use whatever you have around. But Eric and Christine and several other embroidery folks, Andrea Bomarito, are go-to embroidery folks. But Eric says, heat print for me is the first thing I suggest to add for embroidery-only shops who want to start working with print. So good stuff there. Lots of great comments in there. Barbara, got your question, and we're going to get to that a little bit later on when we start talking about that stuff. And man, just tons of great stuff going on. So here we go. In fact, Eric even says he's joining the comments for us today. As the two regular guy, he's our producer here. So if Joe wants some instruction to get over fear of embroidery, I may know a guy. So.
I appreciate that, Eric.
We're going to loan you our Eric Campbell.
And that's cool, because what we see, like I said, is the big applique with our glitter. So, they'll take a piece of glitter, they'll do a satin stitch or some kind of stitch around it, tear it away. It looks incredibly cool and different, and I don't know where to begin with that. Yeah. I've seen it for the past 10 years of my life, you know,
Yeah.
but I've never actually watched the process step by step, or, you know, everyone does it differently and all that. So I'd love to learn more about embroidery.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. All right. Jeff says, seek out relationships with local suppliers. Often a sign shop or car vinyl supplier will have apparel items also. If you have a relationship, you know, maybe they can help you with some yards or scrap that they've got around. So good stuff there. All right. Sue says, wish home crafters would use a heat press. Makes it hard for those of us that do. In fact, what that leads me nicely here into this conversation about the crafters and that market a little bit here, Joe. So, you know, we've talked already about that some, that the folks that have the silhouettes, the crickets and those types of things, you know, you described that home market pretty well earlier. But what are you seeing there as far as the craft industry, what they're doing and how they're pushing the commercial industry too? I mean, I think the lines are blurring probably.
Right. It kind of is. And honestly, I kind of hate the crafter umbrella, because really they're just small businesses, right?
Yeah,
They're just entrepreneurs, just like everybody else. They're taking a different step, you know? But that goes into where it kind of pushes into the industrial or commercial industry, is when they are ready to start kind of graduating into those better pieces of equipment. Well, I don't want to say better, but bigger pieces of equipment. But the big thing for me, and if anyone's ever seen my videos and all the stuff I ever talk about in my education, is just when it comes to heat transfer vinyl, I know, like I said in the beginning, you start a business and you can simply use a home iron to apply your heat transfer vinyl. But for me, and to save some grace for our tech support, like the best application, the best piece of equipment you'll ever invest in is a heat press.
Yeah.
For the heat transfer vinyl world. Now, if you have a silhouette and a cricket, that's great. It's still going to cut your vinyl. But the biggest and most important part of your heat transfer vinyl is how it's applied. So I think commercial industries have grown a little bit more by offering various types of heat transfer vinyl, heat presses. So, like, you know, in case you didn't want to spend $1,600 and up on a heat press, you could get one that was at a decent price point that would be able to segue into that world. The big thing that I noticed, and kind of goes hand in hand with what we've been talking about with large format printing, is printed patterns. So the big thing in the craft market too is our printed patterns. And for a while, we've had our own line of printed patterns called Easy Patterns, which are just these patterned heat transfer vinyls. And here's a couple examples of various heat transfer vinyls that we have that are already printed and ready to be cut and pressed, and they're called Easy Patterns. Now, we only have about 20 of them ready to go for customers. We've had them for a while. You know, they've been doing well. But going along with the trends, as well as what we were talking about earlier on, is patterns have been quite consistent in this crafter world. So what we've been noticing more and more is that we haven't been able to provide the incessant amount of patterns that you can have. Yeah. It's just now what people are doing, like our resellers mostly, is they're stocking up and buying a large format printer to do custom patterns and have patterns readily available at all their customers' beck and call, which requires a large format printer. Yeah. So now more and more people are buying up various styles of large format printers, whether they're solvent, or even latex, and then they'll go and use our print and cut heat transfer vinyls and print out custom patterns as customers are coming through. So we are noticing more and more of that happening, which is also segueing into doing just custom transfers for customers. So if somebody came in and they had a family portrait they wanted to do for a family reunion, they could get it printed out by the reseller, and then the reseller will print it, mask it, and just give it to the customer to go heat apply it onto the garment.
Nice.
So it's been a big expansion. And then, like I said, it's just also getting into that. It's all the other facets of this industry that, like I said, people will then be, well, I want to do screen printing. I want to do embroidery. I want to do sublimation. So that starts expanding and broadening their own business.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
Well, along those lines, Joe, and we've touched on the solvent printing a couple of times here. What vinyls are popular with people out there who are using solvent printers?
So, well, like I said, we have a wide variety of print and cut products, and all of them are extremely unique and different in their own way. One of our biggest sellers is our Color Print Easy. It's a very intermediate heat transfer, print and cut heat transfer vinyl that works on any eco solvent or solvent. Unfortunately, it's the only one that doesn't work on a latex, but it is one that's a little bit more forgiving for somebody that is just getting into it and isn't dialing in their printer exactly how it should be, whether it's the printer profile, whether it's the cut settings, whether it's the mask they're using. So Color Print Easy has been huge. As mentioned earlier, our High Five mat was one of our newest additions. But just explaining the small little details within each one is, for example, the High Five mat, hence the name High Five. It is a print and cut heat transfer vinyl that we make that only takes 5 seconds for its application, and you have a wide range of temperatures you can apply at. So you can apply as low as 270 degrees all the way up to 320 if you wanted to, all for 5 seconds. So that's great, especially when we're talking about, finicky products such as polyesters and things that you're worried about scorching or this and that. You can go to a lower heat application, lower dwell time. And then we have a heat transfer vinyl print and cut, which is my personal favorite, called Color Print Soft Opaque. And that is our thinnest, softest, stretchable product, still with the matte finish. And this, I'm not trying to knock screen printing or anything, but with print and cut, you know what I mean? You have no minimums. Again, just like what we were talking about with Easy Weed and all the other cuttables. But what you can achieve with a print and cut, and I think I have an example, is, something like this, that you're not going to be able to really get all the colors, the gradients, the finish, and the feel all at once with one product or with a screen print, right? So with that many colors on a screen print, it's going to be heavier. So the big stigma we had for a long time with our print and cut products was, oh, it's heavy, or it feels plasticky, or it's too shiny, or something like that. It's come a long way. I don't know when the last time people have actually used it, but it's come a long way. And with the Soft Opaque being the thinnest, it's only 45 microns. So Easy Weed's 90 microns, and Soft Opaque is 45. So it's extremely thin. It's soft, stretchable, and you can achieve things that you're not going to be able to get printing-wise and any other way in this industry. So like I said, we have a wide variety of different kinds, but they all have a different niche as to where they fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. That's great. That's fantastic. Good information for sure. And the other thing for those of you listening to the podcast version, you need to make sure that you get over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/2regularguys and check out the visuals that Joe was showing us too. But there's also a fantastic community conversation going on in the background here. We're trying to get to as many of the live comments as we can, but love the interaction, so keep those coming, folks. And this one's going to cover the whole screen, but it's a good one, so I'm going to put it up there. Jackie says, I would have been so scared to dive in so deep in the beginning. Now I'm just like quote unquote, take my money. I'm excited for this. In this business, I have not found one thing that has been a waste of money. It's always a great investment. I started offering sublimation about 7 months ago. I was excited to find out I could sublimate to glitter, but this will certainly change the game for me and will grow my business tremendously. So
Absolutely.
Good stuff there. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to get to all of these things, but I want to get to a couple of them, and then you'll have to go read the rest over at our Facebook page. But Lindsay Salcedo said pattern vinyl is a great alternative to a fabric in embroidery applique. So easy to pull away and press. So and Lindsay knows what she's talking about. She runs the applique getaway, and we've had her on the show recently. So
and greatest event name ever. I'm going to say it again.
Absolutely. In fact, she's going to be joining us on the 14th of June with Christine Shreve for our Women in Print Round 2. So looking forward to that coming up here. But then Pillar said, a heat press can make or break your business. Shoddy heat presses can have cold spots, which leads to lifting vinyl. And so people just, the heat presses nowadays, the investment that you're making there, especially if you break it down over the lifetime of what those things will last you for. I mean, it's nothing. It's an investment in your business. So, So.
I mean, everyone wants the bargain, right? So, I mean, I'm just like everybody else, right? We all go to Amazon for everything, right? So
Yep.
you're gonna get a price somewhere, but then you're gonna go to Amazon and compare it, and you're gonna see, well, which one's the best? And of course, there's those deals on there, and I get it; they're very alluring, and the price points are great. But things you want to look forward to are, well, do they have a reputable name attached? Do they have tech support? Do they have warranties? Do they have these things that you're going to inevitably need at that price that you're paying? So that, like I said, again, and where we're at, where everything is bargain based, it's that's what we hear more and more. And the amount of tech calls we get all the time when we have people that are like, well, the material's falling off. Well, Siser's terrible. And then when we narrow it down to being like, well, how did you apply it? And then we have them happily send the material in, and we'll do a live demonstration of exactly using that material, pressing it properly, washing it, and showing you it was just a user error. And it most of the time comes down to the application. So again, the investment there, and I say, like, if you're going to make your money back using the silhouette and cost $250, $300, and you're going to make that money back, but you're going to want, and then your thought is, well, let me get a bigger vinyl cutter. And you don't really need to. You need to get a good heat press if that's the world you're going to stay in. I can't stress it enough.
Yeah. In fact, Don Robbins follows that up and says, I love, in capital letters, my heat press. I'll never use an iron again. So,
see, that's right.
All right. Well, Joe, we're doing great here. We've got a little bit more time left, though. So one of the things we always like to do is try to get a tip that people can really start using today. Obviously, you share all sorts of great stuff on your videos and everything that you're doing over there at Siser, but give our listeners a tip that they can take with them today that would be what you would consider your number one tip for vinyl decorators.
My number one tip.
Yep.
Do something different. I can't stress that enough for vinyl users, because I know it's easy to jump into this world and ride somebody else's wake because they're doing well.
Yep.
But because of the doors that this world opens up for you in regards of personalization and customization, it's always better to set your own trend. It's better to start something that nobody else is doing right now and let everybody follow you. I can't stress that enough, because the problem is when you start riding somebody else's wake, somebody's going to ride and then before you know it, it's saturated and your business is depleting because there's too much competition. So for you to find your own niche and find your own trend, that I can't stress enough.
Yeah, that's a great tip. All right, good. So be you, be unique, and find your own niche. That's awesome.
That's it.
All right.
Well, Joe, before we went on the air today, and sometime we should record those before show conversations because we talk about a lot of really great stuff. But today we're talking about new products that Siser's coming out with. So share that with our audience.
All right. Well, this one is been crazy. So again, about 4 years ago, I was working a trade show, and it was like a Twilight Zone type thing where I had so many people at different times asking the same thing, all at the same show. And it was all about, I want something different that I can sublimate on. And sublimation, in case you don't know, sublimation for garments requires white polyester. So customers are very limited into the fabric that they can apply on with sublimation. So people were asking, do we have anything at Siser that will work with sublimation? And unfortunately, at the time, we had nothing. So when I got back into the office, I took it upon myself to try out every one of our cuttable products and sublimate on it. And if you aren't familiar with sublimation, sublimation is an extremely high heat for a long dwell time. So like 400 degrees for 60 seconds. All of our heat transfer vinyls are in the ballpark of applying at 305 degrees for 10 to 15 seconds. So needless to say, all the experiments I did ended up melting or burning our vinyls. There was one, though, that was successful. You probably saw the video, but it was the sublimation on our white glitter. So what I have right here was our white heat transfer vinyl glitter that I sublimated directly onto. So I put that gradient rainbow effect over our white glitter. And this garment right here is 100% black cotton, which is something you're never able to achieve. So, of course, first thing I did the same design with a sugar skull on all of our neon glitters and our white glitter. And they all look uniquely different and very cool. Added a bunch of cool effect to all of them. And so I made a video on it. And I told people, we don't do anything with sublimation. But, of course, I got berated by all the sublimators because they were just like, it should be this setting and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it was just a happy accident for us.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, oh, well, you should have printed it this way or you should have done it. It was like, listen, this was just showcasing something you could do with the Siser glitter that we have, right? And be able to go outside of just white polyester. So that kind of carried on for about 4 years. But then I would get at the shows, I would get all the guys that would come up to me and go, I don't want to wear glitter. What else do you have? It's like, we didn't have anything. So, of course, because that kept happening, we had to work arduously with our manufacturing over in Italy. So 4 years took us a long time, but we are happy to announce that we are now going to have a flat colored heat transfer vinyl that is going to be able to work on your sublimation printer. So this product right here that we're going to be launching in the next couple weeks is called Easy Subli HTV. So this is a product that we're making right now. Easy Subli is a white polyester heat transfer vinyl. So what you're doing, and right now we're working very closely with Sawgrass Technologies. So Sawgrass, because in our world right now is, I don't know if you can see it, but these SGs. So right here I have an SG 400, which is an 8.5 by 11 sublimation printer. And they have the SG 400, the SG 800, which is the 11 by 17 size. So these right here in our market is what's big. So that's why right now we've been working with Sawgrass. And then what's very cool is they just launched the Siser Easy Subli inks to go with it. So these inks right here, let's see if I can line these up correctly. But these inks, the cyan, magenta, black, and yellow, they're all labeled Siser Easy Subli inks by Sawgrass. These are going to be coming out too that you can also purchase to go with it. Now, these are the suggested materials or equipment for you to use to successfully print with Easy Subli right now. That's what we've been working with. I know there's probably a ton of different sublimators out there with various styles of sublimation printers, various styles of inks. They're probably converted printers, all sorts of stuff. Are we saying that it isn't going to work on those? No. We're just saying that right now for us, for our tech support and for everything we're narrowing down is right now the Sawgrass printer, these Easy Subli inks have been what we're catering to.
Gotcha.
So again, this is a very brand new product that isn't out here yet. It's been out in Siser, Italy for a while. So of course, with the internets and how everyone's connected, people are freaking out.
The interweb.
They've had it launched in Italy earlier this year. And so it's been a big, long tease for us in this product because we've been postponing this launch since SGIA last year.
Nice.
That we've been telling people. And then finally, it's going to be here in the next couple weeks. So it isn't out yet. But yeah, these printers, these inks, those are what we're suggesting. Again, I can't stress that any other sublimation printer is not going to work. You're just going to have to test it out.
Yep.
We've had people test it out and play with it and other styles of sublimation printers, and they've had great success. So, that's the new product is the Easy Subli HTV.
Well,
flat, white, not glittery, but it works with your sublimation printer. Here's just one example of a full-size print. Oh, over here. Full-size print that I did with I went down to Austin, and that's all done with Easy Subli.
Okay.
So just to show you a quick print too that was done, because I know this will be the scary thought is when you do print it, it comes out very faint. So a lot of people get worried that they didn't print it right, but once you heat apply it, it draws out the color quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the big thing. But
Welcome
we're
to
pretty stoked about that.
Nice.
And then if you do have sublimation, this is the other follow-up real quick. If you do have sublimation transfer papers, these inks will also work with those sublimation transfer papers as well. As from what I've been told is that these inks are not only for this product, they can be used for other transfer papers, like sublimation transfer papers. So don't feel like you're restricted to only using the Easy Subli once you put those inks into your machine.
Okay. All right. Good. So we got tons of questions here, Joe, for you. So answer what you can, and we'll tell folks that we'll have to get back to them for other things. But Barbara says, will there be videos how to work with the Subliflex?
Well, the product's called Easy Subli.
Okay.
So we have a couple videos already ready to go on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
We're not launching them until obviously like the product's out there. We've already confused people enough. So we do have a walkthrough as to how this product's going to work.
Yeah.
From the print down to the cutting, down to the heat application. And again, in this market, for what we're doing, the 8.5 by 11, this is the smallest sublimation printer you can get on the market, I do believe. The 8.5 by 11 sheet is small for the people that use the larger sublimation printers. Now we will have the availability of rolls. Now, if you are interested in rolls of Easy Subli, that is easy. We can make that happen. But right now we're catering to those that are going to have this printer and basically like a Silhouette or a Cricut. So this is just giving people the big excitement to this mostly is for those that aren't ready to jump into that large format printer we were talking about and spend all that money, yet they can still achieve multicolor prints on a heat transfer vinyl that can go on any color, any fabric. So that's the big thing is that you're not restricted to white polyester anymore.
Okay.
So that's big.
Good stuff. Okay. Pillar asked, how thick is the Easy Subli?
So Easy Subli is 220 microns. So it's a little bit beefier than like the Easy Weed, but it actually does not have a terrible feel. I mean, compared to the other things that are out there right now in the market, that quote unquote work with other fabrics and other colors and stuff like that. If you compare the feel and the look to other things that are out there, it's definitely different. It is definitely thicker than regular Easy Weed, but it's not bad.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, we got lots of yeses and can't wait to try this and thumbs up. Todd asks, "What do we know what the full cost per sheet is going to be approximately?"
The market price, I do believe, is going to be somewhere about $3 a sheet.
Okay, $3
so
a sheet.
You're going to end up getting a pack. If you get a pack, it's not going to be like a box like this, but the pack itself is going to be, I do believe, about 50 sheets in a pack.
Okay.
So, and then it's going to be up to the distributor and their prerogative of how they want to sell the product or how they're going to display it, and whether it be per sheet or per pack. Like I said, you can get a roll. We're also going to have a separate mask that's going to come with it. So if you do have a design like what I have on the back here with the buffalo plaid that's on the Easy Subli, now these are multiple pieces. So to get that transfer to the garment, you need a mask.
Yep.
So we came out with a mask to go with the Easy Subli that is a silicone-based mask. So it's different than the other ones that we use for our easy patterns because those are polyester. So this mask is called the Easy Subli mask. I know we got super creative with that one, but it does have a different backing on it. But this is the one. It's a pretty aggressive adhesive, which is going to help lift the material, the Easy Subli, up. But again, the importance of using this mask if you have multiple pieces of your transfer is that with polyesters, the mask is going to transfer that ink onto the carrier. With this silicone mask for the Easy Subli is not going to take that ink off when you do apply it under the heat.
Gotcha.
So with this, though, the heat application, like I said, with normal sublimation, you're up at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. With this, for Easy Subli, it's a press at 315 degrees for 15 seconds. That's all it takes to apply the Easy Subli.
Nice. Okay. And Joe, 8.5 by 11 sheets, you said, or are there other sheets? I know you said rolls.
So, well, technically the breakdown size of a sheet of the Easy Subli is actually 8.4 by 11. But yeah, so that will be 8.4 by 11. The mask will be a little bit smaller than the sheet because you have to give a little bit of space for your crop marks. So our sheet of mask is going to be smaller. Now for the rolls, like this is the sheets are going to be only what we're going to have ready to go. Now the rolls are master rolls. So we have the large rolls and we're going to almost do custom cuts for our distributors at whatever size they want for their custom.
Okay.
So right now we're keeping them the size they are, and then we're going to just kind of take the orders as they come along for those that want rolls.
Okay. All right. One more question, Joe, because we're running out of time here. But what do you have some idea of the cost for those inks?
I do not, unfortunately. Okay. That's one thing that Sawgrass will have.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, and my guess is they're going to be probably in their same realm of pricing as their other cartridges.
Yeah.
So
and Joe, they'll introduce the inks at the same time as the paper as well. Very good.
Yeah. So when we do our launch, which for those that are watching right now, it's tentatively June 11th.
Just among us.
Yeah, right.
Just us here. Nobody heard that.
When we do roll those out, that Sawgrass will be ready with their inks to go with it. The other question people get, if they already have this printer, they already have the other inks that are in it, can they use these inks? You can, but you're going to have to flush your system and go through that process, which is a possibility. We're going to hopefully have a breakdown, or maybe even Sawgrass. I'm hoping they have something to explain to their customers on how they can go and flush their system to be able to use the Easy Subli inks.
Okay.
So
awesome. All right. Well, Joe, awesome information. Great stuff. Thanks to you for all of your time. And thanks
you.
to all the regulators for all their great questions and comments and things like that. Joe, where can people learn more about Siser and find you?
Okay, well, we're all over social media in case you don't follow us. Facebook, look up Siser North America. Instagram, Siser North America. I have a YouTube channel, or Siser North America has a YouTube channel. You just get to see a lot of this ugly face on there. I have a ton of application videos. Lily and Melissa, other people are on that website too, that we have a ton of different tutorials. We have a bunch of great blog posts on our website at CaesarNA.com. So feel free to use that. We have a great app. So right on your phone, you can download the Siser app. That's going to have all the information you need regarding Siser, our application instructions, all sorts of stuff for free in your app store. Just look up Siser HTV. And then lastly, again, we do not sell direct. So if you are interested and you're looking for an authorized Siser distributor or authorized Siser reseller, our contact that you want to reach out to is info@CaesarNA.com. So that way we can put you in touch with an authorized distributor near you and make sure you're getting the actual product. But we're there to answer questions. So you can always reach out to us. I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook all the time. So feel free to reach out anytime if you have any questions. We have a great group, all sorts of stuff.
Cool. Joe,
Fantastic.
one last thing for you personally. What's your latest film project?
Well, I have a full feature coming out this summer, so I'm pretty stoked. It's the first full feature comedy I've ever done. It's going to be. I'm curious to see how it is. We're supposed to premiere it in July. I have two full features lined up between the end of August and December. So I'm pretty excited about that. But Siser, fortunately, has me on the road all the time. So it's tough to kind of balance the two. But I'm very excited about it. I hope you can all check that out when those come out as well.
All right. Well, make sure you share that with us, Joe. We'll get it out to all of our regulators here. So. All right, Joe. Well, have a great rest of your Friday. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. And I hope to see you all soon.
Very good. See you soon.
Cool. All right,
Very
Terry.
good.
Well, that was fun and lots of good information. And how's your notebook looking? You fill it up with some good stuff there?
I have all kinds of notes here. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's full size legal pad, not the junior legal pad.
You brought the big dog today. Nice.
I've got them both.
I love it. I love it. All right.
Well, I love talking to Joe, and always a great guest, and he's a good guy as well.
Nice. Well, good stuff. Well, Terry, real quick here, so we can close up and get on out of here because I know we're into bonus time now. I've got a couple of things tomorrow. I've got my Small Business Saturdays happening, and tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the anatomy of a great email campaign, kind of the nuts and bolts of what you need to do there. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm doing it super early tomorrow morning because my son's got volleyball practice. So 7 a.m. Central Time. So that'll be like 5 a.m. your time, Terry. And I know you'll get up for that, though.
I'll be up because we're doing graduation brunch. So
there you go. You'll be prepping, so you can just have it on in the background.
There you go.
Just find that over at my Facebook page, facebook.com/aaronmontgomery.info, all one long word there. And also, I do have a podcast version of that comes out every Saturday, and you can find that over at smallbusinesssaturdayspodcast.com. So I think there's about 10 episodes up there right now, just kind of replays of all those videos that I've done over the last 2 years on that. So what about you, Terry? What do you got coming up?
Well, next week I will be at ISS Houston, and the day before the show opens, the folks at Equipment Zone and myself will be doing a day-long free DTG seminar, and I'll also have a regular ISS seminar on Saturday for direct-to-garment as well. June 14th, the following week, I'll be in Baltimore doing the Equipment Zone Roadshow. We're not only doing direct-to-garment at that event, but we're also doing sublimation and solvent printing as well. So again, it's free, and you can find out all about it and sign up at equipmentzone.com. And hey, we're even bringing in lunch for you. So come on out if you're in the Baltimore area, come out and see us and air my upcoming complete screen printing business course. Got one around the corner now in Chicago with Atlas Screen Supply, June 22nd and 23rd. And follow that in Phoenix at Workhorse Products, July 20th and 21st. And all of my upcoming events for 2019 You can find them at terrycombs.com and under the tab tour dates.
Awesome. Good stuff there. Go check that out, terrycombs.com. Terry, we had one more comment that we missed, and I think we got it answered here, but Rich says, will it still work with regular Sawgrass sublimation ink in my printer now? Pillar followed that up and said, yeah, Joe said it will work with other inks. But Rich, just reach out to info@caesarna.com, and they can answer more of those questions for you too. So good stuff there. That's what you heard too, right, Terry?
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yes. Okay.
All right. Well, goodness gracious, what a great show, Terry.
Yeah.
I think we've done as much as we can do for one day. So thanks to Joe for his time and Siser North America and all the great stuff that they've got going on over there. Thanks for loaning Joe to us for the morning here. So again, be sure to check them out at caesarna.com. And we really appreciate Joe's time today.
Absolutely. And we also want to thank our show producer, Eric Campbell, who's there in the chat, sharing information with everybody and helping us in all aspects of the show. You can find Eric at ericcampbell.com. And we also would like to thank our sponsor, Brilliance, and their family of products.
Absolutely. Thank you guys very much for all of your help. Next week, Terry, we're going to be talking with Vic Autry again. He's coming back and he's going to talk about selling on Shopify with SmartLink. So there's some good stuff there. I'm looking forward to having that conversation. And I'm just checking the last of the comments here to make sure that we got it all, Terry, but I think we've got it.
All right. Well, then until next week, I'm Terry Combs. He's Aaron Montgomery.
And we are the Two Regular Guys. Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at tworegularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/tworegularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/tworegularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, tworegularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.